Now we're going to kind of go deeper into these with a video that I've pulled up right here. I was looking into that Joe Biden robocall, and the Young Turks is a pretty interesting page. So let's check this out.
We know the value of voting Democratic when our votes count. It's important that you save your vote for the November election. We'll need your help in electing Democrats up and down the ticket. Voting this Tuesday only enables the Republicans in their quest to elect Donald Trump again. Your vote makes a difference in November, not this Tuesday. If you would like to be removed from future calls, please press 2 now.
Yo, that was surprisingly realistic. I wouldn't have been able to, like, if I heard that call, I would have assumed that that was him who recorded the voice. Behind the curtain. We're looking behind the curtain. We're truth seekers behind a curtain together. No, I'm kidding. We are truth seekers, and we are parting the curtain. We're looking behind. And that was pretty interesting. I would think that I have some experience with these deep fakes, like personal experience, and I would not have known that that was not actually his voice. I mean, mind you, the internet in the world has like a gajillion hours of him speaking. So training an AI with, like, imagine that much data, it would have to have like a 99% match, especially over a phone line where you have some static and stuff. It's hard to tell. So apparently Joe Biden was making these robocalls and telling people not to vote, or how to vote, basically. Pretty interesting. Let's see. And apparently a magician was paid to do this, dude. That's crazy. Pretty good magic trick.
Last month, ahead of the New Hampshire primary, voters received a robocall impersonating President Joe Biden, telling recipients not to vote in the state's primary. An investigation was launched by the New Hampshire Attorney General's office for an unlawful attempt at voter suppression. As it turns out, the calls were created by a magician named Paul Carpenter, who was hired to do so. It's important to note there's no evidence linking the campaign itself from this action. And if Kramer did this, he did this on his own volition. We want to be clear of that. But Carpenter, who is a world record holder for fork bending and straitjacket escapes, has
escaped out of this controversy by blaming Kramer.
That's so funny. The guy on the right is laughing pretty hard too. Man, all this political drama shit, I just think it's funny that the dude has escaped out of this problem by blaming the other guy. Is pretty funny. But that's so funny he included this world record holder for fork bending and straitjacket escapes. Like that was relevant information some random magician made an AI robocaller. Now, what's funny to me is, like, it doesn't seem like, okay, I don't understand the political climate, but it doesn't seem like this was like a terrible thing to do. Like he wasn't trying to they were calling Democratic supporters and telling them not to vote at a certain time, but a Democratic operative paid him. So it seems like it's aligned with their narrative and their mission. I don't know if I'm missing something. Like, it would have been one thing else if they got the robocaller to tell them to do something else, like trick Democrats into voting for Republicans. But it seems like they're just trying to kind of control or influence when people vote. I don't understand the difference though, guys. Okay, I think there is one American at least in the chat right now. Let me know what the hell's going on here. The state, why would they not want someone to vote? You wish they would call you? That's so funny, Golden Kid. Yeah, like why would they get a robocaller to tell these people not to vote at a certain time? Or who benefits from that? I'll keep playing it because they might answer that question too, but you would probably know better than me.
He and Steve Kramer were introduced through a mutual acquaintance for whom he had done some web design and social media management work. Carpenter said that he believed Steve Kramer was working for the people whose voices he was being asked to imitate, and the voice projects were authorized by the campaigns. He had not heard of Phillips, a congressman from Minnesota, and said he was not aware of Steve Kramer's work for the candidate. Text messages between the two show the duo's partnership, including Kramer sending scripts to Carpenter.
So that makes sense. He was basically just a contractor. Yeah, the magician was just a contractor. But it's funny that they framed it as like the dude's a magician, because come on, man, he moonlights he daylights as a software website maker, brand maker, content creator. He moonlights as a magician. Why are you guys talking about him like he's a magician? Well, I guess we only heard about the spoon or the fork bending and the straitjacket escapes, but yeah, so it seems like whoever got charged is probably the Paul Kramer guy, the dude, the Steve Kramer guy who was pushing the envelope on this. But yo, it's so easy to make an AI like voice deepfake. We did it the other day on stream in like a few minutes. You just need to record yourself speaking for like 30 seconds. And with a 30-second snippet, it can reproduce and make you say anything. I was talking about green eggs and ham, guys. For those who know me, I'm plant-based. I also grew up in a Muslim family, so there's definitely no green eggs or ham in my diet ever. But yeah, it's free to do too. You could just like that audio snippet with Biden. Y'all, anybody could make that in like 5 minutes or less. You'd spend more time writing a script than recreating Biden's voice because he's such a public figure. There's so much of his voice out on the internet. You could just download any speech he gave, any interview, and then boom, plug it into 11 Labs or Descript or any of these products, and it'll just make it for free. Oh, I saw these videos of like Trump and Biden having like a fake. It was obviously an AI deep fake to me, but maybe other people might not have seen it that way. But I saw them having like these crazy debates saying nonsensical stuff that was like, yo, no right person in the right mind would ever say that publicly. Like that's cancel culture, cancel baiting.
And directing Carpenter to his father, Bruce, for payment. Venmo transactions show an account with the name Bruce Kramer paid Carpenter $150 in 2 transactions on January 20th.
We're all screwed. So reality just got bent like a fork. And in all seriousness though, it did. Now, like I couldn't tell, I would have no reason to believe that it wasn't.
Same here. I have no reason to believe that it wasn't. And we're early in the AI days.
And so they've now basically perfected it. So if you think you're hearing someone, it might not be that person at all. Fake scandals created against people. Real scandals covered up by just saying, you don't know it was me. Trials. Evidence isn't evidence anymore because maybe it was AI. In a best case scenario, we're all going to be like now watching an NFL game. A play happens and then you don't celebrate, you don't get upset until the review. We all wait for 5 minutes for the review and then you know, hey, is it a touchdown? Should I celebrate or not? In a best case scenario, every one of these recordings has to be run through some sort of program that AIs it and says real or fake.
I think that's pretty valid. I think that's a solid take. I mean, less the doom and gloom part of things. I mean, that is a reality, but the part where he compared this to like a football play being reviewed and people wait, they like don't celebrate. That's actually a really, really good comparison. We actually covered this on Monday, comparing the two different things that are available to us, right? Well, the one thing available to us today is deepfake detectors, but the real future of detecting whether something is AI or not, something is real or it has been tampered with, is in provenance. Provenance, guys. That is the magic word, provenance. And c2pa.org, providing origins of media content. Here we go. Oh, unfortunately, you can't get a good view of what this looks like, but basically, it's a digital signature that cannot be tampered with. And if anything on a file, like a digital file changes, whether it's an audio file or a video or a picture, we'll know that it's been tampered with. And now that way, it's like if the detector, which are not 100% accurate, if the detectors fail, then we have that fundamental layer of provenance to give you that clarity. And it has metadata in it. So imagine it like this. When you go and you right click a file, any kind of file in your device, whether it's on your computer or your phone, and you go to like the details section or the get more info, you're going to see things like, okay, the file size, the file name, the file type, video, PDF, whatever. You're going to see other metadata, like if it's an image, you're going to see its dimensions. It might be an image that's a square, like a 600 pixels by 600 pixels. You might also see, for photos, actually specifically, if you look at your phone, you might also see all kinds of other stuff like filters and other information that's kind of like encoded into it by the phone. But what would be added, provenance would simply add to this existing stack of metadata and provide a signature that's like, this is the original and it is owned by this person. Like if you took the photo on your camera, it is owned by you, or like a digital ID version of you. And that way we can know when that file gets taken and it tries to get tampered with, we can know that it's real or it's not real, that it's been tampered with. And if it's tampered with, then, you know, we know at least something happened to it and it might be messed up, or it might be AI. Might be a deepfake. Long story short, this is something that my company OSIS is working on. It's not like the direct problem we're working on. It's just the provenance and the digital signature is a part of our infrastructure. We'll call it. It's a part of our infrastructure. It just so happened. I realized this on Monday that we just so happened to be allowing people to digitally sign their assets, their information, the content that they upload into our platforms. This has been a thing for years for us that we've been studying and building around. It was just more for attribution rather than like AI provenance and clarity on if something's been tampered with. So that was just a bonus fact. And I think it's really cool that that's the case and that we have solutions to combat what he was talking about. But I agree that we will, as a society, have to take more of these breaks to review if something was legit and then celebrate, and then, you know, solidify our opinions on something, on new information.
We've seen the big tech CEOs sign a voluntary pledge. What a bunch of BS, saying that we're going to regulate deep fakes as well as shallow fakes. So they scrape existing data, hence Biden's voice, and they sort of aggregate the data and recombine the data and add some complex effects to that data to make them believable. It's an algorithm that we call stochastic parroting. The magicians are here and it's all using our data, not compensating us for any of it, and it's now enacting itself on big tech platforms, social media platforms.
Dude, he hit that nail on the head. This is incredible just how aligned this video and this conversation is with what we're building, what I'm building at OSIS is nuts. So for those who are in the chat that like know, y'all know. If you know, you know. If you don't know, hey, jump into the Discord and you're gonna see one of the key phrases he said is they're using our information, our data, not compensating us for it, and then using it to influence people on social medias, which he's right is the news source for a lot of people. Some people prefer Twitter for their news to ever watching like channel 24 news or reading the paper, for example, the New York Times. I know most people that I know rely on social media for their news. I think it's like just older people who still go and watch cable TV and look at like the news channels that are on 24/7. That's my experience, at least. That's very interesting. That is very interesting. And I'm also curious why he even brought in, it was kind of like from left field where he was like, they're using our data, they're not compensating us for it. I'm like, hey, that's what I said. That's what I said, not you. How is it even relevant to your point about Biden, at least? But hey, he hit the thing on the head because that is what's happening. People are using other people's information and data and content when they're using AI too. So like they manipulate something that is owned by someone else or created by someone else to, in this scenario, use it to influence people on, through a robocaller of Joe Biden telling you when to vote. But he's right about the social media side too, from my perspective. People are using AI to influence other people's opinions on socials towards one direction or another.